Okay, 6127. Solve each of the following equations for the indicated variable. Be sure to record your work. Okay, so this is a really familiar thing. We got to solve for x here. So what we got to do here is get x alone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this 5. I'm going to be like subtract 5 from both sides. Sides. I don't know why that word. So hard for me to spell. And that will get me y minus 5 equals negative 2x. And then I'm trying to get x alone, so I'll divide by this coefficient. I'll divide by negative 2. Divide negative 2 both sides, and that gets me y minus 5. I put in parentheses because I know I'm dividing that entire thing by negative 2. It's equal to x. So x equals y minus 5 over negative 2. And just typically you don't put the negative in the denominator, so the final version will be sort of like this. Negative parentheses y minus 5 over 2 is equal to x. It's not pretty, but it works. It's true. It's a winner. All right. B. Well, we are going to be solving for p. So we're going to take this. I guess the first thing I got to do is get this 7 out of here. So I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. And what we're seeing here is that these are all familiar, but they're just getting a little harder every time. So I subtract the 7 to get rid of that, so I get m minus 7 is equal to negative 3 parentheses p minus m. It's like peeling an onion. You got to take all the layers apart. Okay, now, and that says equals, which is weird. I should say minus. So now I got to divide by negative 3 to get this p minus m alone. So I'll try that. Divide by negative 3 both sides. And so we had that m minus 7. I'm going to put that in a parentheses to shield it from what I'm about to divide it by, which is negative 3. And that will be equal to p minus m, which doesn't need the parentheses anymore because there's no other coefficients or terms on this side of the equal sign. And of course, this negative would probably rather be on the top of the fraction instead of the bottom of the fraction. So I'm going to rewrite that as negative parentheses m minus 7 over 3, totally crazy looking, equals p minus m. Alright, so this is our new equation. And then we're just going to add m to both sides. Alright, that's what we got to do because we're trying to get p alone, right? Okay, so add m both sides. This is definitely the trickiest variable isolation we've ever done. I'm going to take this exact stuff here, right there, and I'm going to add m to it. So what I'll do is I'll just put all of that business in larger parentheses, and then I'll be like, well, but plus m, so I'm adding m to all of that nonsense, and then that will be equal to p. And believe me, for our practical purposes right now, this is more of an exercise than anything real life, but it is important to learn how to get the variable alone. Alright, so p would be equal to negative parentheses m minus 7 close parentheses over 3 close external parentheses plus m. Totally wild. That's what p is. Alright. Here we're going to solve for y. We have 2 times y minus 3 equals 4. Doesn't seem too hard. First what I'll do is I'll distribute the 2. And that will get me 2 times y is, oops, 2 times y is 2y. 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. and that will be equal to 4. Okay, now I got to add 6 to both sides. This one's going to be easy. Add 6 both sides. That's going to get me 2y is equal to 4 plus 6, which is still 10. And then I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides, because I want to get y alone, right? And so y alone is equal to 5. Okay, y is just 5. There's no other variable here, so there's nothing else to isolate. Y is just plain old 5. Okay, that one was nice compared to B. Jeez, B was cruelty to humans, but yeah, C was totally reasonable. Okay, here we need to solve for Q. So we got Q. Is there a missing equal sign here? This appears to be a missing equal sign here. Give me a second. Equals. Much better. Okay. All right. So we are going to start by distributing here. We're going to distribute the 4. And that will get us 4 times Q is 4Q. Don't say that with a Brooklyn accent. 4 times negative 8 is minus 32 is equal to 7Q plus 5. Okay, so we got Q on both sides. I'm going to subtract 4Q from both sides. Subtract 4Q. And why? Because I want to get all the Q's on one side. So subtract 4Q from both sides because it's the smaller version, right? And that's going to leave me negative 32 is equal to 7Q minus 4Q is 3Q plus 5. Okay, then I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. That's going to get me negative 32 minus 5. Always want to be careful with these. Negative 32 minus 5 is negative 37. Why? Because it's already negative and we're just making it more negative. Oh, that's just so depressing. Okay, negative 37 equals 3Q, so I want to find out what Q is. So of course I'm going to divide by that coefficient. Divide by 3 both sides. There we go. Okay, and it's going to be negative 37 over 3 equals Q. And as far as our work goes, that's a perfectly good answer. You can jam that into a calculator to get whatever it is, 12.333, negative 12.333. No big deal. This is the part that the mathematician has to be able to do, and we're mathematicians, not calculators. Awesome, good job, and you're done with the work.